reason that we bought it was to do some comparisons so that you don't necessarily have to. I know that they're different trees in regards to varieties, but they are all peaches. So we've done this from Tractor Supply in the bag, the ones that are inside in a bag, not a box. It's a Sam Houston. The Red Globe peach from Ison's was a bare root that was about, I'd say probably 5 foot. And then we also grafted some onto Nemagard rootstock. We did a Loring and a Stark Saturn donut peach. So we grafted those on rootstocks just to see how all these would do, that we all planted in the same year and or grafted / planted in the same year. So hopefully this will be a good comparison.
Dean Family Acres.
Alright guys, so we'll give a little bit of an update on our peaches, and we're going to clean out from around the base. This is something good to do every single year. Make sure to kind of clean all of the weeds and grass around from the base. At least 6 inches, but preferably a foot or 2 out, depending on how aggressive your grass is, where they're growing, etc. If you can do 2 feet and manage it with the number of trees you have, I would strongly encourage you to do that. It will strongly improve your root system on your tree. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to start on the Red Globe peach that we got from Ison's last year. Again, I'm going to just gently work the soil around the tree in a circle area, and I'm going to get those weeds and grass away. You want to be really careful not to damage any surface roots, so you do want to be paying attention to what you're doing. Don't just come in here with a hoe or a big rake or something and just start raking. You're going to damage your roots. So you want to be able to get that pretty much fully cleared out circle there, then come back and put some compost. Again, remember, you do not want to have that compost up above the root flare, so pay attention to how much compost you're putting. If your tree is planted too deep, then you might need to adjust that as well, whether that's digging it up or whether that is actually kind of flattening the soil around it. Enough of me talking, let's get some action to cleaning around this tree and the basically out to the edge of the branches or 2 feet, and we're going to then put that mulch down on top of our compost, and then now would be a great time since everything's starting to come out to go ahead and put some fertilizer in. I will say a lot of times this is a great job to do a little bit earlier in the season, but as with anything else, there's always projects to do. So just get it done as soon as you can, and it will greatly increase the growth on your trees. Here we go. As you can see, we got the Red Globe cleaned up from around that base. We also put some compost and then we mulched around it. The one complication we're probably going to have, I can almost guarantee you we're going to have, is going to be chickens, and us getting the chickens all cooped up and not jumping out. If you saw the video before, I'll link it up here, where we put in our new chicken run and redid the coop at an affordable price. We kind of repurposed some things. The netting that we bought off Amazon, surprise, surprise, even though we splurged for the nicer non-plastic type of netting, didn't last the year. It just started completely deteriorating into nothing. and of course there's no warranty at that point. So we're going to be redoing that at some point, and that has continually moved up the list because of a variety of different things. But number one is because of our garden. Number two is just because of landscaping in different forms all around our place. So just think about that if you got chickens, and you might want to free range them. But if you think that you want to have any kind of landscaping or fruit trees or anything like that with any kind of mulch around them, you might as well forget it. So it's kind of a catch-22 how you want to do it. I will say you could put a little cage around each one of your fruit trees, and that would certainly work fine. You need to think through how many of those fruit trees you have and how much of that you want to invest in regards to each tree having a little cage around it. Honestly, for the chickens, it probably wouldn't need to be super tall, and it would kind of just hold that mulch in. Just remember, as you saw here, you want to leave that mulch away from the trunk, and you want to make sure that you're not just mounding it every year. You don't really have that problem with pine straw or pine needles. It's one downside. They do break down, but they just don't put a lot of extra compost into the ground like some leaves and those other things, or like any kind of pine bark mulch or any kind of wood mulch. It's really going to break down a little bit better. So now all we got to do is work on the remainder of these, and I think today what we'll do is try and get at least these peach trees done, and then we might start to work on some of the other trees throughout this week amongst everything else going on. Too many things on the list to do. All right, here we go. All right, next we're going to work on our Sam Houston here. We've mentioned it a couple times. This is one of our Tractor Supply trees that we bought in one of the little bags that was a bare root. It has made it, but as I've mentioned multiple other times, if you have an opportunity to buy something like that, and instead of one of these little bags, I like to call these impulse purchases. But the reason that we bought it was to do some comparisons so that you don't necessarily have to. I know that they're different trees in regards to varieties, but they are all peaches. So we've done this from Tractor Supply in the bag, the ones that are inside in a bag, not a box. It's a Sam Houston. The Red Globe peach from Ison's was a bare root that was about, I'd say probably 5 foot. And then we also grafted some onto Nemagard rootstock. We did a Loring and a Saturn, Stark Saturn donut peach. So we grafted those on rootstocks just to see how all these would do, that we all planted in the same year and or grafted / planted in the same year. So hopefully this will be a good comparison as we go through the time and years to know exactly which one might work best, which one might be a little slow to begin with and then take off. But for now, we are working on trying to get the area right around each one of these trees. We're looking to get those cleaned up a little bit so that we can put compost down, just check, make sure that they're nothing got too high up on the trunk, and also go ahead and mulch them and water them for now. Should you or could you do this in the late winter? Yes, you should. It is just early spring now, but if you have an opportunity to be able to do it in late winter, I would encourage you to do that. As with many people, there's just so many things on the list, you can't get to each and every one of them exactly when you want to. So you kind of do them as soon as you can. Here we go. Let's get this Sam Houston cleaned up. Alright guys, you can see the Sam Houston down here looking really good. Got that compost in, cleared out around it, and mulch. Now all we got to do is water and hope that the chickens stay out of it. Alright, on to the next one. Alright guys, this is the Stark Saturn, and just trying to get a few big chunks of grass out of here. most of these weeds, once they get up and bloom, that'll be it. But they'll be back next year. Alright guys, that's Stark Saturn there, and that just leaves loring. We'll get it wrapped up before too much longer. Alright guys, now we're going to get this loring cleaned up. Most of this is actually clover at the bottom, so it should be not too invasive, but we're going to get our shovel, kind of clear out. As I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're not hitting your roots. I know that on, which one was it? Actually the red globe, there was a couple roots that were kind of right near the top, so you just want to be really, really careful when you're clearing out. You don't want to damage those roots. Let's jump in on this loring and see what we can get done. Alright guys, so loring is the last one. We're a little short on pine straw mulch, so I'm going to go get some of that. And I also, while I went inside trying to fiddle with some things, came back out and the rooster had already turned up every single bit of mulch around the Spark Saturn. So I thought about, alright, what can I do to kind of put things around? I have noticed that at least some, I won't say completely, but if you kind of put sticks up vertically around where you mulch, sometimes the chickens won't mess with it if they're kind of tight enough spaced. So I don't have that solution, but I'm going to try. I've got some pine logs that I'm kind of just put as squares around these, and hopefully that might prevent them from throwing it everywhere. We'll see. At least maybe it'll keep them from throwing the compost out. Here we go. Alright guys, so here we are mid-July and we're checking in to see exactly how the peaches are doing. Just want to give you an update. It has been a constant battle trying to keep these chickens out, as you can hear them. It's just been a little bit of a pain, but it's worked. Other than that, it's just been squirrels stealing peaches as usual. We trapped one this year, but we really got to get on top of that and try and trap as many as we possibly can here and just relocate them. That's been our main issue here. So this is the Sam Houston, and it is honestly about chest high at this point. So I would say about 3 to 4 foot. The red globe has definitely put on some growth. I probably should have pruned it a little bit differently this year, but it is what it is. It had probably 15 peaches on it, and I was like, you know what, I probably should thin those out, but I kept thinking I'd like to just get one, and honestly I probably should have just thinned it out because of the squirrels got them all, every single one of them. Over here is our Saturn. These are the Saturn grafts, and then these over here are our grafts from this year. And then this is just additional growth from that Nemagard rootstock. And I think the biggest thing with it is I'm gonna let that be an extra fork coming off the back. And we'll let that be another branch to graft this coming year. Loring is here. As you can see, had one left. Squirrels absolutely don't care. They will eat the whole bag off. I just left it hanging here. I would encourage you, trap your squirrels. There's no other way to deal with it. They don't care. And actually they broke a limb off because of that. The pine logs have done pretty well, have not kept the chickens out. Tried to kind of do a couple of different options there, but hopefully you can tell from a growth perspective, that and just Japanese beetles have been doing absolute hammering on the red globe, especially. Came out here one day and there were probably 15 on one peach. Overall, things are going well. Let you see our seedling real quick. I know I didn't talk about that earlier in this video, but I've done a couple shorts on this in regards to just grafting, how things are going. Just a quick update. Grand Coulee, grafted here. Put on a little bit of growth. Blushing Star, grafted here. Put on a little bit of growth there. Majestic. And back over this way, got two grafts. These are Contender here, which it looks like it has died back, and this is also a Contender. So good thing I did two of those. Had lots and lots of peaches this year. All looked great, but squirrels ate every single one of them. We're going to prune this back really good this year and promote less growth inside, and hopefully we'll get some better results. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe down below. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell like, not the peach tree, like Mike Tyson in 1980s. Also, don't forget to join us each and every week. We're trying to release a new video pretty much every Sunday at 8 p.m. Most of the time we're doing a premiere on those, so if you want to jump on, we do try and interact with everyone. But if we do have something else going on at church or a family get together, whatever, then it won't be listed as a premiere. It'll just be released at 8 p.m. So again, thanks so much for watching, guys. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hopefully you've already subscribed right here. But there's a video over here coming up in regards to fruit on our farm. It's a whole playlist going on. And then over on this other side over here is just going to be our most recent upload. Thanks again for watching, guys. Hopefully each and every one of you all have a wonderful and blessed one. Stay inside as much as you possibly can and just stay cool. Thanks so much.